When FutureWorks Consulting works with their clients, we always ensure we create a plan B. So why create a plan B? Well, it's important because you don't know your likelihood of actually getting into that university no matter how hard you work. And there's always that possibility that you may not get into the university of your choice. So it helps to create a plan B up front because it takes some of the nervousness out of the process. You know you have a backup plan and you know you can always go to it. Even though you would create that plan B and put it aside and focus very hard on plan A, it always helps to know that you've already thought about plan B in advance. So you're not in a lurch if the results come out to be unexpected. Secondly, why does it help to create a plan B in advance? Well, it helps you to actually start thinking about what your alternative options are and assess them well in advance. For example, there are students that I've come across who have just simply matured late. They're quite bright, but they didn't put in the effort that they needed to in their initial years at high school, and therefore their grades are not strong, and unfortunately just a little bit too late to make it up. So what you may actually do is say, well, I'm going to try to get into a higher ranked university or my dream university, and if it doesn't happen, let me create an alternative strategy to eventually get there. For example, you could go to a lower ranked university or a lower brand name university than you initially want to, and then work really hard and transfer to the university of your choice. That's one option. It helps to plan this in advance because actually the transfer policies from university to university can be quite different. Even the acceptance rate at universities can be quite different. If you look at some of the universities of California, the different campuses, their acceptance rate can be significantly higher. Across the 10 universities, there are significant differences. And between the University of California and other universities, there can be significant differences. So you'd want to plan this strategy well in advance. You may also decide to go to a university undecided. Maybe the overall university is not ranked as high as you'd like it to be, but it's ranked very strongly in a potential department that you think, you may want to major in. And so what you know your task is to do is to get into that university, work really hard to get into that particular major, and you've got your plan already set out for you. So it really helps to figure out what your alternatives are, because some of these schools may be safety schools for you or completely, plan B schools. If you haven't thought about it, you may not even potentially apply to some of these schools, and so you might, not have an option once you get your application results back. And again, if you haven't thought about it, you would have to rush to actually figure out, well, even if I did go to this university, is this really the right one for me? How am I going to eventually achieve the goal that I wanted when I set out in this process?